Hello and welcome to today's Ask Barn2 Anything live Q&A. I'm Katie Keith, co-founder and CEO at Barn2 Plugins.
And I'm Sam Waynes. I do all of the video stuff here at Barn2, including all the YouTube, all the videos that go on the YouTube channel. And look at that, I already stumbled up the first sentence.
You can't edit it when it's live, you know.
Yeah. Normally when I'm making videos, I take about 10 takes for one line and then I just cut the rest. So sorry about this, guys. Basically, what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be going through some great questions that you guys had, and we're going to demonstrate some of our most popular plugins here on the live show, and that'll just give you an idea of what to expect before you buy or before you jump in yourself and add it to your website. And then we're also going to demonstrate a brand new plugin that we're just about ready to launch, and that's WooCommerce Discount Manager. We're very excited about this one. We've been working very hard on it behind the scenes. I just made a video about it today that I'm going to be editing, and I'm pumped about it. I know Katie's very excited. I don't know if you want to say anything about that now or leave it for later.
Yeah, we'll go through it at the end. We'll demo it and tell you all about it at the end.
Awesome. So we have already received some fantastic questions before the call. We're going to jump into those very shortly. But if you are watching live, please do comment and leave your questions as we're going through, and we will get to them in a timely manner, as we're going through this live stream. Thank you.
Yeah, so if you submit questions, we can either answer them directly, we can point you in the right direction, and we can also demonstrate how to do specific things in our plugins and show you how it works in the admin, how you might set it up for your use case and personalize stuff like that. So please do add your comments in the comment section, whether it's YouTube or whatever. And also, while this is primarily a pre-sales Q&A session, existing customers are welcome to ask questions and comment and everything as well.
Yeah, so shall we jump straight into the first plugin then?
Yep, so do you want to introduce Document Library Pro now and share your screen?
Yeah, absolutely. One moment for me, just to find that one. Okay, awesome. Just double checking, Katie, we're on my screen now.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, great. So this is Document Library Pro, one of our all-time most popular plugins. And what we're looking at right now is the table view. So just to back up a little bit, this is for WordPress users who need a way to organize and structure their files that they may have on their website. Depending on what kind of website you're running, you may have some PDFs, some resources, things like that. Or you just might want a place to store your podcast or your YouTube channel library somewhere that's not actually on YouTube. So this is the table view, and as you can see up here in the top left, you have filters. So you can filter and find different documents throughout the library. You can also use the search feature up here in the top right. And if you want to download items, there are download buttons here on the right as well. And you can also click and select a bunch of items and download all of them at once with one button. And so I'll just reset that here. And but this is just one layout option. We have others. So the next one is the folder view. Now you can enable this folder view and you can still have the table layout within the folder view. So this is just an optional kind of front-end look for your document library. So it looks sort of like a folder view on your computer. The next main view option is the grid option. You can have the grid option with images, or you can have the grid with icons like this. You can use the search feature as before, and they also come with download buttons as well. All right. Should I switch back, or do you want to stay on this page?
If you're logged in, could you go to the edit document page, and that leads to our first question? Or if you're not logged in, I can do it.
Yeah, thank you. I'll stop sharing.
Okay, so our first question was from Alan, who wants to know more about using a block editor or Gutenberg in a non-complex page with Document Library Pro. So there are several ways if you're using the block editor or actually any page builder plugin like Elementor, Divi, whatever. In terms of your actual main document library page, which Sam showed us a minute ago, you can add that using layouts created using any page builder, including Gutenberg. So, for example, you might have created a fancy page layout with lots of different sections. And in one of those sections, you can add the document library. And Document Library Pro comes with a short code which you can use to list documents anywhere on your site. So you would simply get the short code from our documentation and put that wherever you want the document library to appear. But I believe that Alan's question relates to the single document page. So some people use this feature, others don't, which is where you can click on the name of a document to access an individual page about that document. And I'll just show you what that looks like now. Oh, wrong button, sorry, share screen. So this is the page that you use to manually create a document. There's other ways to create documents too, like bulk upload and that kind of thing. But if you're doing it manually, it's just like creating a post in WordPress. As you can see here, it probably looks very familiar. But this uses the classic WordPress editor, which is not the Gutenberg block editor. And the reason for that is because, well, one, not many people have asked to use blocks to design the single document page. And I'll just show you in the front end what that single document page looks like. So it's a fairly simple page for each document that you can access, which has like the title. It has one field of main content, which is kind of equivalent to your page or post content. And then it automatically creates the right-hand column, which has various custom fields, a download button, a preview button, and that kind of thing. And an image if you've got a featured image for your document. So that's what it looks like in the front end, and this is what it looks like in the back end. And the reason it uses the classic editor is largely because you've just got this one field here, and that can appear in your front end document library. So in the table layout that Sam just showed us, you can have this field as a column. Now, if you designed this page using blocks, that would break, because imagine if you added lots of blocks with different information, what appears in the table. So we'll probably do it at some point, but it's not a straightforward project, and I'm not quite sure what the benefits are. So I would really love to hear, either in the comments or later via our support center, how you would use that. What sorts of page layouts would you like to create using the block editor for the single document page? Because we're not against ever adding it, but we need to know how people want to use it so we can think about what to support, and people haven't reported that as much as you might think. But clearly the block editor is the future, and everything in WordPress is going in that direction. So we need to think, what is the best way to add it to Document Library Pro? So that was the first question. And the second question is from Helen, which is about creating a video library with a membership plugin. Now, that's a really interesting question, and it could be about Document Library Pro, or it could also be about one of our other plugins, Post Table Pro. So I'm going to talk to you about how to do this using Document Library Pro, because I think that's the easiest way to create a video gallery. But actually, we have got another plugin that you can do it. So with Document Library Pro, I'm going to share my screen again. You can basically create any type of resource library, and let's define resource. It doesn't have to be a downloadable document. It can equally be, you see in this document library, we've got an audio file that's embedded in the main document library page and also appears on the single document page, as you can see here. And we've got an example of a video. As it got there, it is. So there's a video as well. So imagine if every document in this list had a separate video in it. You've got a video gallery. So Document Library Pro you could use to create document libraries, image libraries, audio libraries, video libraries, basically anything that requires some sort of resource that you're sharing, which might be displayed directly on the page, it might be a downloadable button, or it might be like a preview or something, so that like with this one you can click there to open an audio preview instead of allowing people to download it. So the reason I think this is better than our Post Table Pro plugin for this purpose is because I'll just show you in the back end. It creates a documents post type in the left-hand side of the WordPress admin, which is a really neat way to display all of your documents. And whereas with Post Table Pro, our other plugin, you can create your own video post type, which would add a video link to the left of the WordPress admin. But you've got to do that yourself, haven't you? So it's a little bit harder, but also very flexible. So they look the same in the front end. Post Table Pro looks like this, but it doesn't have your preview buttons and it doesn't have your download buttons. So it's not quite as fully featured in that sense. Another thing Post Table Pro doesn't have is this folder view that Sam showed you, or the grid view. So it's missing a few things. So I'd probably go with Document Library for this use case. So that's about displaying the videos. And the other side of Helen's question was about using a membership plugin. Now, I assume that that means that she wants to restrict access to the video library so that only certain people can see it. And you can definitely do that. To do that, we sell Document Library Pro on its own or as a 2-plugin bundle with our other plugin, Password Protected Categories. And with Password Protected Categories, you get to restrict access to any or all of your document categories. And you might make people enter a password to unlock it, or you might instead have them log into their user account on your website and you'd unlock each category based on either their user role, or even you can restrict categories to individual users if you needed to. So that's one way to do it. But you can actually use Document Library Pro with any membership plugin. So if you need a different login or access options, then it will equally work with other membership plugins as well.
Awesome.
So
Thanks,
just having
Katie.
a quick look at the comments. So
Yeah,
have you had a look at the comments?
Yep. Yeah. First of all, hi. I'm going to try and say your name, Seidel. Seidel. Nice to meet you. Thanks for jumping in the stream. And did you want to see about this question?
Yeah, that's kind of standalone, so we can do that now. Yeah.
Mhm.
So how do you handle multiple product management tasks? What tools do you use? How do you decide on features, and how do you manage version releases? So that's all about running a software development company, which a plugin company is. You're asking at a very interesting time, because we're in the process of moving our project management software. So we have been using a variety of tools, largely Trello with Google Docs as well, for new project management. So like, for example, our WooCommerce Discount Manager plugin, which we'll be demoing at the end and which will be released very soon. We've had that on Trello and also a Google Doc with all the requirements in it. But we've identified that as we've grown, that's probably not the most professional way of doing it. And so following a recommendation from Sandro, one of our senior developers, we are switching to a platform called ClickUp, which he's been using for software development for years. And that's going to combine multiple tools. So currently we have like Trello for project management, Google Docs. We use something called T-Metric for time management, and we're going to consolidate all of that into ClickUp, which does all of those tasks. So that will, according to Sandro, we're still experimenting, allow us to be much more streamlined and organized. So I think that's the first half of the question. Then how do you decide on features? Well, that's always really interesting because it comes from the customers. And you might have noticed when I was talking about Document Library Pro earlier, I was referring to the number of feature requests about enabling the Gutenberg block editor on the single document page. And that's because we do things based on the 3 factors, which we have a kind of formula that we use on our feature request list, which is demand, the number of customers asking for something, difficulty, and also impact. So that's impact on the customer and also impact on the business. So we combine those features, those factors, to decide which features to add. So sometimes there'll be huge demand for something that's actually relatively simple. Obviously, that's very high priority, whereas there might be like small or medium demand for something that's quite complex to achieve and might cause other problems. And that requires more thought and probably wouldn't be prioritized in the same way. So I think that's quite a good approach, given that obviously we can't do everything that people ask us. Finally, version releases. We're quite laid back at the moment in terms of we don't have a specific release schedule at the moment. We were actually discussing this on a team call yesterday, weren't we, Sam, whether to do that and say we do a release every month. And I was actually just talking about that with my husband and co-director Andy a minute ago as well. But at the moment, we tend to do releases when we feel they are needed. So if there's like a significant bug that's affecting a lot of users, it kind of wouldn't make sense to wait and that sort of thing. And bigger software companies have like multiple channels where bug fixes are done quickly, but they've also got major releases in the pipeline that take longer to do. And we tend to do that for our bigger plugins like Document Library Pro or something, more so than the smaller ones where that's not needed. So it's all about a matter of scale, really, and what's appropriate.
Great answer, Katie. You went a full deep dive there. Awesome. Did you want to jump into the next plugin?
I think we should do Mohammed's question, because that is a comment about Document Library Pro. So that says, he says, like looking like Microsoft SharePoint, considering the features I've seen so far, and that's cool. Yeah, a lot of people do choose Document Library Pro as a SharePoint alternative, which is really interesting because SharePoint in a way is a completely different thing, in that that is a huge piece of enterprise level software. It typically costs like tens of thousands to set up because you need custom everything, and it's like a whole enterprise level tool which large organizations tend to use. And it comes with other stuff too, like intranets and things, and more. It's like a whole internal thing. But if you just want a document library, either public or just for your team, make it private, then Document Library Pro does the job, and it's like $99. So it's an interesting alternative that people might not have thought of. And a lot of like larger organizations assume they need the enterprise solution, but they're probably using WordPress for their company website already. And it makes a lot of sense to add maybe a private document library area for just the internal employees to access or something, instead of having the whole SharePoint and what comes with it. So that's a really interesting comment.
One commenter,
Kevin,
one commenter said that they were running a government website. They had 6,500 documents, and they were doing that with Document Library Pro.
Well, you can, because it has a lazy load feature. You can list literally tens of thousands, or unlimited, depending on your server, documents in the same document library, either on multiple pages or just in one massive table with really good search and sort and filter to help people find things. And you don't get those performance issues because it just loads one page of the table at a time. So, and Kevin commenting on the previous question, which is ClickUp sounds interesting, seems better than Trello. I always like Trello because it's simple and doesn't have many features, but ClickUp is certainly more sophisticated.
I've used both. I've also used Asana, and I've used others that I can't remember the name of, probably because I wanted to forget about them. I would say ClickUp was the most like kind of comprehensive, but still easy at the same time. So it had way more features, but it was still pretty straightforward in terms of how you use it. Trello I like because it is simple, like you said. You don't get too distracted. It's very straightforward. Just follow your tasks along the Kanban, and that's it.
That's the thing. Yeah. So wholesale.
Yes, absolutely. Just 1 second to jump into that. Sharing my screen and looking for this one. Perfect. All right. So in terms of a demo for this plugin, it's a little bit hard to demonstrate because it's basically just your WooCommerce shop with wholesale discounts and login for your wholesale users. So what this plugin does is it creates a wholesale area on your normal WooCommerce shop, or you could just create a wholesale shop from scratch with it, and you can create, you can generate user roles. So, for example, you could have a 5% discount roll and a 10% discount roll, and then your wholesale buyers can sign up and register with your store, and you can give them discounts based on what level of customer that they are. So you can create the login screens, and you can also integrate with WooCommerce product table to create these quick order forms as well. And that's kind of a separate thing there. But yeah, the basic crux of the plugin is that you can set up discounts for your wholesale customers, and they can log into a separate area where they can see those discounts displayed, and that's hidden from public view as well.
Yeah, that's right. And we had a question about that. So the question about wholesale was, is it operating easier than retail stores? So I assume that's about the management of the wholesale side of things. It's with Wholesale Pros, a lot of people use it. Probably the majority have a public bit of their store and also a private wholesale area. And the operating is essentially the same. So it's one store, but wholesale users can log in and see their own pricing, and perhaps they might even see different products depending on how you've set it up. So when you go into the WordPress admin, you've got your WooCommerce orders section. You can filter your orders to see wholesale or retail or both. So if you want to manage the orders separately, then that's fine. Or you can just, they're an order from your perspective. You may not care if it's wholesale or retail. You have to fulfill it either way. So you can view all the orders in one place. So it's pretty similar, really. You can customize things, different tax settings. You can offer different payment gateways for wholesale users, or different shipping methods for wholesale users. So you can tailor your store for wholesale, but essentially it's WooCommerce, and we've just created that flexibility to allow you to tailor it for different user groups. A lot of something that a lot of people have been asking us about with the wholesale side of things is the ability to offer quantity-based discounts for wholesale users only. So in Wholesale Pro, you can set role-based discounts. So you might have 2 tiers of wholesale user, like a silver and a gold one or something, depending on how much they've spent in the past. I don't know, whatever your criteria are, with different discounts, which might be a percentage discount for their role, or it might be an exact price that you have set for each product for that role. But either way, however many they order, they're always going to pay the same amount. And so one of the reasons we've built our new plugin that's coming out, a WooCommerce discount area, was for WooCommerce Wholesale Pro users, because a lot of them were saying, we want to offer an incentive for our wholesale customers to order in larger quantities, because that's what wholesale buyers do. And so they need that. Whereas the retail, you might not offer a bulk incentive because retail customers don't typically order in bulk. I mean, there are some business reasons you might want to offer quantity discounts for retail customers to increase your average order value, but typically it's a bigger thing in wholesale. And so we thought about whether to add that just as one feature in wholesale, but what we've ended up doing is build a standalone plugin which works with wholesale, because that allows it to be much more fully featured in terms of different types of discounts, and also people without a wholesale store can use it as well. And so one big use case for the new plugin will be to enhance the wholesale store, where you can create discounts or bulk pricing tiers and choose which user roles, like wholesale gold only, for example, they apply to.
Should
So
I
I
just
hope that answers Roland's question, because it's a bit vague.
Should I just jump in and show the new plugin then?
Yes, that's a good bridge actually, which wasn't intentional. Yeah.
I think it makes a lot of sense. This
Oh,
is the
we've
one
got
we
another
want.
question first about
Okay.
document library. So should we jump back to that first?
Yeah.
So any shortcode support for Document Library Pro? Would love seeing it within designs made with page builders or Gutenberg editor. Yes, I'm just going to find you a link, which I'll put on the screen and we'll put in the YouTube description later as well. So here's the link. So basically, Document Library Pro has a shortcode, document_library, which has literally dozens of options which you can use to, for example, list different documents in each. So say you're using the table layout, you might be using Gutenberg to list maybe your video resources. I'm not going to say documents for video. You might list all your videos in one table on the page using one shortcode, and then you've got another Gutenberg block lower down where you're listing all your audio or something like that. And so the shortcode options in the link that you can see on the screen now will allow you to do all of that. So you can basically customize each document library using the shortcode options. A quick tip is that I don't recommend using them unless you need to, because you can set up pretty much everything centrally on the plugin settings page without having to edit the shortcode. And unless you don't need to be a developer to use shortcodes, but they are a bit fiddly and some people feel overwhelmed by them. So I would say set everything up centrally and then use the shortcode and just use the shortcode options that you want to use to override what you've set up centrally. So let's say that you've set up your table columns on the settings page, but just your video table, you want to change the columns for some reason. Do that in the shortcode, but you don't have to set up everything else like your filters and your sort options and whatever. So that's my recommendation. Use the shortcode options minimally.
And Katie, am I getting mixed up with product table? Because you could have multiple different instances of document library, right, on different pages.
Yeah, it's exactly the same. Product table, post table, and document library are the same in that sense.
Yeah, and that's a good use case for shortcodes then, to have a specific instance of it that's separate from the main version on your site. Righty
Yeah.
ho. I
Right.
want to show off the new plugin now. So I'm just going to find
Okay.
that one, and maybe you want to switch to the link for this page that I'm about to show. Now, Katie, where are we in the launch right at this moment?
We are in the final stages. We haven't
Okay.
actually got a release date because we just release when we're ready, to be honest.
Mhm.
So it's currently in the final quality assurance steps where
Mhm.
multiple developers from our team are testing it, and Sam as well as part of doing the
Mhm.
video. Been asked to provide any feedback or anything. So, and we've got just one customer that's kindly agreed to beta test it for us as well. So we're doing lots and
Mhm.
lots of testing, preparing all the marketing side of things and that. And then when that all comes together, we launch. But this link at the bottom of the screen will be the sales page, but right now it's a registration page. So you can pre-register for a 50% discount, and then we'll email you as soon as it's launched, and then you can get it for a discount.
Yeah. So while I was making the video today about this plugin, I was researching a little bit earlier, and I realized that the basic features within WooCommerce to create a sale or discount are really, really limited. Like you can create a sale for an item, and you can create a bulk discount on multiple items, but there's issues with the scheduling, there's issues with the type of offer you can create, and you certainly can't do anything dynamic like creating a buy one get one free offer. So here we have the demo. This is just like a typical sale. This is something that you can create in the base, in the core WordPress plugin. But when we are looking at something like a total spend discount, that's something different. So in this one here, when you spend at least $60 on this product, you get 20% off. So if you add 3 items and then add it to your cart, you're going to get that 20% off at the cart level. Now, similarly, you can have some other types of like more dynamic ones. So BOGO stands for buy one, get one free. So we all know what that means. As soon as you add one to your cart, you're going to get a second one for free. But the plugin will also allow you to make it 2 for 1. So you buy 2, get 1 for free, or 3, or whatever number you would like to work with. You could even give away more than 1 per purchase, but I wouldn't recommend it. And you can also set it up so that the next item is cheaper by a certain percentage. So this one is buy one, get one half price. And by the way, the plugin is adding this little banner here as well. So we're getting to see what the offer is on the sale page, which is really important so people actually understand how to get the discount. There are several more, but I don't want to bore you to tears. The last one that I think is really interesting is the bulk pricing. So this is, again, what we brought in for the wholesale users. So there is a quantity of how many you can purchase, and then you get a certain price per item, which is at a certain discount, right? So this is the base price. If you order 2 to 4 items, you're getting this price. And if you're ordering 10 plus items, you're getting the price of $31. So quite a significant discount, 30%. And that's going to incentivize the wholesale buyers to purchase in larger volumes when they do. Now, I just want to switch tabs for a second to this one here and show you the back end. So this is what Discount Manager looks like on the back end. So if I add a new discount, I'm faced with these 6 different options here. And you can see examples of what sort of discount that is over here on the right-hand side. So let's make a discount for buy X products for Y discount. So for example, buy 5 products and get 10% off. Let's see if we can set that up. So we go create, and then we give it a name. So let's just call it X for Y. And this is our discount offer here. We can set it up for all products or just selected products. So whatever products we have in mind. And this number here, quantity required for discount. So how many items should somebody purchase before the discount is applied? Now, what was the discount we wanted to make, Katie? Three items and they get 20% off, let's say.
Something like that.
All right, so buy 3 items, get 20% off. Now you can make it so this applies the discount to all the products in the cart, or you can actually make it apply to just the additional products. So once they've purchased, 3 items, then the 4th item would have a discount, or the 4th and 5th item. You can also exclude certain products as well as, because it's set up for all products, you can exclude certain ones. But if you want, instead, you can just set it for selected products or just selected categories within your store. And finally, down here, we're going to set the dates for the sale. So you could set the start date for today. If you're going to test it out, you should set the start date for the same day. Otherwise, you won't see the sale because it hasn't started yet. I found that out today. And then this is the product page content. So this is where you would add that little sale banner on the product page or give some more information about the sale if it's a little bit confusing. And you can choose where on the page that will be placed, whether it's going to be above the title of the product or somewhere in the middle. And this is a cart notice. You can apply some kind of notice for once the shopper goes to the cart, and they'll see what discounts have been applied before they hit purchase. And then you just hit save and you've set that up. So I just need to actually go back, select all products here, and then press save. And now I'm just going to delete this one. We go to a product here, refresh that, and let's buy 3 items. Add to basket. Have I done this wrong? I think I've done something
We
wrong.
can't see the front. If you're on the front end, we can't see it.
Okay. Yeah. Share this tab instead. Now, okay. Yeah. That's my bad. All right. So I just need to bring this down to 3 items, I think is good. And update. I'm wondering if I've calculated this correctly. I've got kind of a funny number here. I think I need to go back to the settings. Sorry. So let me just share this tab. So we have to, let's just make it 2 items here for a percentage discount, 20% off.
So if you buy 2, then you get 20%. But you've ticked additional products only. So
that's what it is.
That means that if you had 3, you would get 20% off product number 3, but not the first 2. So there's a lot of stuff in here, and
yeah. I just didn't pay attention when I clicked that. Alrighty, now if I go back to this and share this tab instead, refresh that. Here we go. And you can see the banner comes up. It's not correct because it's for something else, but we have the quantity and we have the discount applied. Perfect. Whew. All right. That's enough of that.
Find a bug live on air. Excellent. Right. So thanks for that. We have a question about this plugin. So we'll switch to that now, which is, will it be part of the WooCommerce bundle? The WooCommerce bundle is a historical bundle which we don't sell anymore, in which we sold all of our WooCommerce plugins for a fixed annual price. And if you previously bought the WooCommerce premium bundle, then yes, when Discount Manager is launched, we will email you and tell you that you can access the new plugin from your account page on the Barn2 website. Because if you have an active license key for any of our all access passes, which includes the old WooCommerce bundle, then that includes any new plugins which we release during the year or while your license key is active. So then if you renew, then you obviously get new plugins the following year as well. And since then, we've replaced the WooCommerce bundle with 3 different all access passes, which all include all of our plugins. And so you can just buy it for 1 site, 5 sites, or 20 sites. Whereas it was a bit kind of less useful before, because you had the number of sites depended on what plugins you got, and people didn't like that. So we've replaced that with 3 all access passes, all of which, if you've already got it, will include the Discount Manager plugin. So if you're finding yourself using several Barn2 plugins, then it's often cheaper to get the all access pass.
I just wanted to say hey to, I don't know if I can do this name, Michael, or Michael?
I don't know what the 2 dots change the pronunciation. I don't know that.
Sorry, I'm Canadian. I'm going to say greetings from Thailand. I am currently in Bangkok, Thailand.
You're not very Thai, though, are you?
No, I'm originally from Canada. That's why I pronounce names the way that I do.
Not French Canada, then?
No, I'm very far. I'm about as far from French Canada as French Canada is from France.
Canada is big, yeah.
It's a huge country. So
okay, so I just think we've got someone about to ask a question, but he hasn't done yet. We're otherwise done. He said he has a question. May I please ask?
Yeah, waiting with bated breath. Yes, Katie, I have a question. When? Oh, I already asked you when it's going to be released, so we don't know the precise date. But are we talking like a few days, a week?
I'm hoping it's days. Yeah, I mean, obviously it depends on the outcome of the final round of testing. and therefore how long that is to implement, because we don't want to release till it's completely ready. But from all of our tests so far, and Andy and I have been testing it for many months and really putting it through its paces, it's very, very, very nearly ready and is in the final stage, which is why we've started talking about it publicly and that kind of thing.
Awesome. Oh, well, that's awesome. I just wanted to see if there was anything else we wanted to do before wrapping up. I was just going to say I'm working on the video for this, so do give me a little bit of time to get that ready, please, Katie. And you know, we'll launch it when it's ready. Yeah, that's. I want to know how much time I have to edit this video.
Yeah.
So anything we've talked about today, we're going to update in the description of the YouTube video. This will stay as a VOD, video on demand, on our YouTube. If you just go to our channel and go to the live section, you'll be able to find this video. And all of the links and anything we mentioned, as well as some of the other things that we wanted to highlight, will be in the description there. So that is pretty much our show for the day.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, everybody, for watching. This is the third one we've ever done, so it's still new to us, and we'd love to receive any feedback in the comments on YouTube or wherever works for you on how you'd find it more useful. I think, did we say we'd probably do about one a month, Sam, for now, and then again take feedback on how useful people are finding them and things. We had one last comment from Jacob, who's very excited for the new plugin, so that's great. And yeah, well, thank you very much, everybody, for watching, and we will hopefully see you next time. And if you've got any more questions in the meantime, you don't have to wait a month. You can we've got our support center on barn2.com, so just send us a question whenever you have it. You don't have to wait for the live stream.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You can reach out to Sports Center. I always appreciate getting comments on YouTube, but the more direct way to get a hold of support is with the Support Center. Shout out to all of you who watch the YouTube videos, by the way. I love you guys.
Not at all biased towards the YouTube section of our audience.
Do we have time for one last question? This one actually comes from YouTube.
Yep, he had to type quick though.
Yeah. We're counting on you, Javier.
Yeah,
Xavier.
Yeah, and the previous
it's a long question. I bet it's a long question. He's furiously typing.
Well, the other person said they'd put a question on too and haven't, so we may get more. Yeah.
Have you seen, I think it's Bruce Almighty, where Jim Carrey is? Oh, here's the question. Okay.
I don't know what NB designer is. I'm going to Google it.
Katie, that's the first time I've ever. That's the first time you've never had an opinion on something.
A product designer plugin. I don't know it personally. Just looking at what it does.
Is it like a print on demand, like product designer plugin?
Yeah, I think so. Product designer plugins can mean quite a few different things.
Yeah.
It can be about a bit like our product options plugin where you're mixing and matching features. It might be one with like where it automatically creates, when you design like a t-shirt online, it actually generates the preview image, which none of our plugins do. It might be one of those. So I'm not clear at this point. But
it is a print on demand plugin.
On that plugin
I made a video about, I think, 8 or 10 different print on demand plugins, and that is available on the YouTube channel. You could just search Barn2 print on demand. You'll find that video. I don't know if I got to NB Designer though, because I'm not sure if it made the list. It might be a newer one, or it might not be as well known. So I apologize if I didn't cover that, but there are a bunch of good options in that video too, in case you are looking for that sort of thing.
Yeah, it does look like it's got live previews, which is actually one of a big feature request for our product options plugin, which a lot of people want it to have live previews of like combining the options you've selected, which is a big project. It's not quite within the scope of our plugin, which is about adding kind of standalone options, I suppose, to WooCommerce products. But so yeah, I'd say you probably use something like that if you do need live previews. Seidel has said, have you seen my question? But I've only seen the question where he asked if he could ask a question. Yeah, before we finish then, could you resubmit it? Because I've only got, hi guys, I have a question, may I? And have you seen my question? But not the question.
Just regarding the video I made, and I didn't talk about NB Designer. Apologies for that. I don't get to review every single plugin on the market in those videos. I usually just keep it nice and short and sweet with just the sort of top ones that I'm aware of.
Yeah, I agree. It would be a great feature for our WooCommerce product options plugin. It's kind of an increase in the scope, but I think it kind of fits as well. But we've got a few other projects in the pipeline first, so I don't know when that would happen, but I would love to do that for that plugin.
Jacob, what's your favorite thing about the product options plugin? I see we've got a super fan here. He says it's the awesome product options plugin.
Got to wait for people to type now. Yeah, it's always tricky when people have feature requests, which are kind of a bit beyond the scope, because you don't want to add bloat to a plugin. Each plugin has a specific purpose, and you can't add everything to every plugin. You need to think, what is the scope and what is the role of other plugins? And that's a really interesting example that it probably makes sense to go in that direction one day, even though it wasn't part of the original plan for it. And it was kind of originally intended to be a sort of a better version of WooCommerce product add-ons, which is the official add-ons plugin on woocommerce.com, but it's kind of basic. And so we identified there was a gap for a better product options plugin, which had more flexible field types, extra features like conditional logic and all that. And that plugin absolutely does not generate custom images when you select add-ons. So it's interesting, where the plugin came from, and that was the inspiration to actually people see, oh, it's got this far, let's bring it a bit further and make it into a proper option, a proper plugin for customizing products and things.
Jacob, I appreciate this comment. Thank you. The conditional logic, it just means if this, then that. So the plugin allows for conditional fields to be opened or closed depending on what the other fields have. And I agree, that is a really cool thing. I imagine it's a nightmare to code and program. So our man Luigi is always working on that sort of thing behind the scenes. So it's great.
Well, have you seen that today we've just released an update of product options, which includes better conditional logic, because it didn't used to work with the price formula field, and customers were telling us we want it to work with price formulas. We might want to use different custom price formulas based on the other options that the customer selects. So if they select a certain option from a drop down, they want to use a different formula to then calculate a custom price or something, and we hadn't even anticipated people might do that. So it was really interesting to listen to the customers. Going back to the feature request question earlier about how we decide on new features, customers told us we need conditional logic for price formulas, so that's just come out today.
Awesome. Wow, that's a big feature. I might even make a video about that. That's really cool. Jacob, sorry, Katie, this is a little bit off script, but Jacob, if you're still watching this, email me, sam@barn2.com, and send me a link to your website. I'd love to check it out. And if you're really up for it, maybe even have a little chat with you about how it is running your shop with our plugin as well. Because I'm always curious. On the YouTube side, I'm showing the tutorials, but I'm not always seeing how they're being used on the other end. So I'd love to see that. sam@barn2.com if you're still watching. Thanks, Jacob.
Oh, you're going to get some spam now. You just said that on YouTube. That was a mistake.
That's why I didn't write it down. You have to be listening.
Yeah. Can't the AI crawl it these days and scrape emails?
Oh, shoot. Oh, well, I don't know. I think I've put my email in the video somewhere before, so I guess it'll be there.
Okay, right. Well, I think we should finish now. And
Mhm.
anybody who wanted to ask a question, it didn't come through or anything like that, then just contact us via the support center or in the
Mhm.
YouTube comments on this video later, and we'll reply that way.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thanks a
Awesome.
lot, everybody. And until next month, hope to see you there. Bye.
Absolutely. Bye-bye.